All right. So with us today, we've got Kennedy Rice from Anywhere Welcomes You and Majority Bones. Thank you so much for being on Midweek Music Maelstrom. This is where we go when we want to find new music, support local bands, and help bring some people to some notability. So what's been going on? Tell me everything.
Oh, well, first off, thanks for having me. This is awesome. What's been going on so far? This year released 2 albums, one for each project.
Oh,
On Inauguration Day, Majority Bones actually dropped a new record called Regicide, which is out on all streaming services and Bandcamp. And then this past summer, Anywhere Welcomes You dropped its 4th full length,
fourth.
called yes, 4th. It's called Portraits of Solitude. Anywhere Welcomes You, I write pretty fast. The band's only been a thing, or the project's only been a thing for like 3 years, but I've just dropped the 4th full-length album.
Full length. So do you ever dabble in EPs, or do you just go full steam ahead, full-length albums?
Oh, I do. Yeah, there's some EPs. Anywhere Welcomes You has an EP and a few singles that aren't on records, as well as Majority Bones has one EP as well from before the full length.
And how long have you been performing?
Geez, since I was 15, so 18 years at this point. I'm 33 now. Yeah.
I turn 22 every year. I've been turning 22 since I turned 22.
I feel you. I think I'm gonna actually probably start doing that, getting up there.
So you're stopping at 33?
Yeah, I think so.
So you said you had recently done a show?
Yes, actually. So Majority Bones actually just did its first show since the pandemic started last month. So, geez, our last show prior to that was back in May. No, sorry, not May, March of last year, and and half the lineup was different at that time. So it was pretty nice to do this show, the show that we just did last month. And that was over in Denton at Killer's Tacos, and it was just nice to play some songs because we had dropped a record in January and had nowhere to play any of the music because venues still weren't opened yet, and we weren't ready to start playing yet once they started opening. So,
and Majority Bones, Anywhere Welcomes You, you're from?
Texas.
Texas.
Yes, DFW area. Anywhere Welcomes You, it's basically just Greenville, Texas. That's where I live, and Anywhere Welcomes You is just me. But in Majority Bones, since half the members live over in Denton, we just claim that, and that's where we practice. So,
all right. So, how would you describe the sound of Anywhere Welcomes You? Like, what genre, what influences do you have in your music?
Yeah. So Anywhere Welcomes You is a solo project. It is it's a storytelling project. All of the records are concept albums. They all tell the story of a small American town and the people that inhabit it. So Anywhere Welcomes You, the first 3 records were all acoustic. This 4th record that I just dropped, that is the first time that I've added like extra layers of instrumentation. I did everything, but it's the first one that has like drums and bass and all this stuff. So when I start playing some more shows, I might actually just find some friends to bring that to life. But as far as the sound goes, it has a lot of Aaron West and the Roaring 20s vibes, as well as Mountain Goats. I'm really inspired by for that project. Tiger's Jaw, I don't know how much it comes through in the sound, but I'm definitely inspired quite a bit by Tiger's Jaw on this last Anywhere Welcomes You record.
And how does that compare to the sound that you have with Majority Bones?
Oh, well, Majority Bones, that's just full on punk. It's heavier. It's all electric. Well, mostly electric. That one, very big influence would be AFI. It's been one of my favorite bands since
Oh,
I was a
definitely.
kid. Yeah. So, you know, big influence in that. Jade Puget from AFI, he is a huge influence on my guitar playing style and the way that I write guitar for Majority Bones. So there's a lot of that in there. There's also some like Alkaline Trio and Rise Against in there as well for Majority Bones.
So what made you decide that you wanted to go in a different direction with Anywhere Welcomes You?
I had some stories that I wanted to tell and some songs that I wanted to write that just really didn't fit what I was trying to do with Majority Bones at the time. And also I wanted a little bit more freedom because Majority Bones, it's a band, and it's like that band is really democratic in the way that we do things. So, but also this means that whenever we're playing shows or trying to do things, I have to rely on other members and make sure that, you know, X number of people are available to do certain gigs and stuff. With Anywhere Welcomes You is nice because then I could do it at home. I could practice whenever I want. I could play shows when and wherever I want. The only person I'm accountable for is me. So I love Majority Bones. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. I love my friends and co-collaborators in that band. But it is nice to be able to have something that's just for myself.
Oh, I completely understand that. So what were some of your musical influences growing up that made you decide that you wanted to perform in the first place?
Yeah. So the catalyst that had me start playing actually in the first place wasn't even my love of music or my influences. It was actually, I had some friends. I grew up in Arizona and had some friends out there that were starting a band. And the way it often works with everyone's first bands is roles are more or less assigned as opposed to based on what you can actually play. So I had three friends. Two of them had already called dibs on guitar. One had called drums, and they came to me and they're like, "Hey, we're starting a band. We need a bass player. Do you want to play bass, or have you ever thought about playing bass?" And I said, "No, not really, but I'll ask my parents for one." I asked them for one, and I got one for Christmas. And then I transitioned to guitar not long after that, and I started really listening to music more intently. And that band never did anything. It folded like most people's first bands do. But I was very much influenced by AFI, as I've already mentioned. I was very much influenced by Coheed and Cambria. My oldest child is named after that band.
Really?
Yeah, her name's Cambria. First name Cambria, middle name Jade, after the guitarist of
Was that
AFI.
something that kind of inspired the influence in concept albums? Because Coheed and Cambria do a lot of concept albums
Yes.
following like their own like mythology.
Absolutely, absolutely. They were the band that kind of got me in love with concepts. And I definitely wanted to do something like that with Anywhere Welcomes You. Anywhere Welcomes You is set in reality. It's not like a sci-fi epic like Coheed is, but Anywhere Welcomes You and Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties definitely influenced the storytelling uh, sorry, not Majority Bones, for Anywhere Welcomes You. And so so those were like some of my big influences. Then also I was influenced by the Mars Volta, which is just the thinking outside the box sort of aesthetic that they have. None of my music sounds even remotely like what the Mars Volta does, but I love their approach to artistry, and I tried to use some of just some of their methods and some of their ideas, like trying to write with influences that aren't musical, like something based on like a film or something like that. Because they had said one time in an interview that it's real easy to write when you're influenced by other music, but then also, and I'm completely paraphrasing, but but also it can be awkward if you're unintentionally ripping something off. So if you're influenced by, say, music, sorry, not music, but film, like, you know, I want to write a song that makes people feel the way that this scene in this movie made me feel, then like, I don't know, I was just always kind of in love with that, and like in love with the way that they do things. So I try to incorporate some of that as well into my writing.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I keep going back to the Coheed thing.
Yeah,
Is that why you have a dragonfly in the back?
that's exactly why. Yeah, my wife and I are very much into Coheed. She actually, I'm pretty sure she had that
Oh my
dragonfly
God.
before
I feel
we
like that's a
met.
Coheed reference. I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, it absolutely is. She and I have the same Coheed tattoo actually.
That's so
they're
funny because this morning was the first time I'd listened to Coheed and Cambria in months, and then lo and
Yeah,
behold, we do this interview.
that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's we absolutely love Coheed, and Kelly, my wife, she actually plays bass in Majority Bones, so it's real nice to have her there, because we're very much like-minded in a lot of the music that we're into.
Oh my God, I love that. Now, when you say you have any music that you enjoy that is just way out in left field, it sounds nothing like the music you produce. It's not anything close to like AFI or Mountain Ghost, just something completely out of the realm that you just genuinely enjoy.
Oh, absolutely. Try to think of one off the top of my head. I know I definitely have some.
It gets harder when you're on the spot. I'm sorry.
Well, Kanye West is his album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I think, is one of the greatest albums of all time. It's for sure in my top 10. I don't make anything that sounds like it, but I have often had that album in mind when making my own music, because it's just a perfect piece of art from beginning to end. And I've said so many times, like to many of my friends and people I've talked to, that that album belongs in a museum. So I constantly strive to make an album like that. Like, I want to make something that belongs in a museum. I'm never going to make anything that sounds like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I would love to make something that definitely belongs in a museum, probably in an exhibit next to that.
Wow, that's quite the goal. So do you have anything planned that's coming out, like new music, a new event, or anything like that on the horizon for either of your projects?
Um, Looking at some shows for next year. Nothing is solidified yet. For both bands. Um, Majority Bones, I am currently writing. We are currently writing the follow up for that. We have some music demoed for it that that we're very excited about.
I'm excited about it too.
Absolutely. Hell, I'll show you the demos after this interview's over if you want. I don't mind.
Oh my God, it's like an early Christmas present.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got a few tracks that are fully demoed right now. So
Before I got on this video call, I was listening to some Majority Bones in the shower,
oh,
and I
thank
was
you.
trying to like get a feel for like everything. I'm digging it. And
Thank
you
you so
have,
much.
did you say you have a new video that's dropping?
Yes. Yeah, I did tell you that.
Well, the time
We
this
do
interview goes
have,
up, it'll probably be out, but please tell us about that.
absolutely. We have a video for our song Dirge Volcanic. It's the third song on our record, and it's just a live video taken from the show that we did last month. It's just a compilation of live footage, but it's really nice to get a video out there, because just with different things going on with us, we've been pretty busy, so we haven't really gotten to do all the videos that we want to yet. It's actually already out on Facebook, but it will be up on YouTube soon, and I'll make sure it's up before this goes up. So we got that. There's a couple more videos that we would like to do for Majority Bones before we call it a day on this album cycle. Like I said, we're already demoing for the next record. Anywhere Welcomes You, however, just dropped a video for our song, for my song Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions, and it's one of my favorite videos that I've ever done. So that just dropped as well, and I'll actually make sure that that's on YouTube for when this goes live. But that's pretty much it. It's really just those, and then right now just writing and demoing for the next records.
So what did it feel like when you're playing a show and like you've got a crowd? Like, how do you go about like channeling that energy? Like, is it something that you feel humbles you, or does the opposite?
I'm not sure. I don't really ever think about it too much because it comes so natural for me. And like I'm never really nervous before playing a show. I've just always had the sort of, I don't know, I guess you could say the heart of a performer, I guess. I don't know. That sounds kind of cliche, but
No, I understand.
I used to I used to actually wrestle and like be a professional wrestler, like WWE style. So like
Oh.
I'd be in front of a crowd doing that, in front of a crowd playing music. Just I'm always down to just entertain, and I definitely feed off of that energy. And played an Anywhere Welcomes You show recently, and it was actually the first time that someone besides my wife was singing along to one of the songs, and it rocked my entire world. So I'm just like, yes, please, more of that. Like I love that energy. I absolutely feed off of it.
Wow, that's great. So what would you say, this is like my staple interview question, mind you. What has been the coolest and or weirdest thing that you have ever experienced while performing, while doing a show?
Ooh. Sorry. There's that cough I told you about before the interview.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I'm getting over a cough. So anyone listening, I apologize if I cough right in your ear again. Coolest or weirdest thing? Well,
I've had
yeah,
one
I
person
mean,
say he was knocked into the crowd and they had to like stage dive. I've had someone else say there was a bunch of genitalia. I had one guy
mm,
say that someone broke her leg all the way backward, and while she was on the gurney getting taken away, she's like, "Hey, can I listen to one more song?"
that is actually pretty awesome. That was horrible at first, but it had a very awesome ending.
Oh, but the band was
Uh,
called The Horribles.
oh, nice. That's awesome. Little bit of foreshadowing there. Uh, yeah, for me, I mean, well, the thing I just told you about with the folks singing along, that would probably be one of the coolest things ever that's happened so far. Another one would be I also play in a band called not Majority Bones, called This Glass Embrace, that's based out of Arizona, where I'm from. I play bass in that band, and I've been in that band since I was in high school. And one of our shows, we don't play shows anymore, we just release records, but one of our shows from forever ago, I'm pretty sure I was still in high school when this happened, but we were doing this the opening of this song, and it's a real heavy song. So right when everything comes in, I took a big leap, lost my footing, and completely fell. And and yeah, it was pretty funny. Everyone laughed. Our drummer Zoe laughed at me for sure while playing. I'm sure she did. But so that happened. Trying to think if there's anything that's been just like really just off the wall crazy. I'm sure like this interview is going to end and I'm going to think of something and be like, oh man, I should have said that.
That's
Damn.
okay.
Yeah.
If I have to
I might
throw another clip in at the end, I will.
I might have to just come back.
So,
Um,
do you guys have any
yeah.
merch?
We do actually. I'll shoot you a link for some of our merch. Some of my friends out here, Jasper and Monica Lacey, they own a shop that does like vinyl printing and stuff for t-shirts, and they do quite a bit of our merch for both Anywhere Welcomes You and Majority Bones. So our shirts are available on their website, and I'll provide you a link for that.
Okay, so they can find you on Spotify. They can find you on, what was it, Bandcamp?
Yes.
And are you on
Yes.
Apple? You're
We're on
everywhere.
Apple. We're pretty much everywhere. Yeah. We also have stickers too, by the way, but those aren't available online. Those are those you can generally just get at a show for free, or if someone buys something from me directly that I sell, you would just throw it in there normally.
So we can find you on all the streams. We can find you on YouTube. You've
Yes.
got merch that people can link to. Wow, you're covering all your bases.
Absolutely. You know, it's nice to have those things out there. Nice to see people wearing wearing your band's logo on a shirt. It's just always a cool feeling. It's something that I never really get over. It's one of the things that I sort of, fantasized about when I was a kid, when I started actually taking music seriously as a young teenager, so it's actually nice to see that.
Oh, I bet it is. Like, that's kind of living the dream.
Absolutely.
The shirt I have on is actually from someone I'm partnering with, Alien Entities. They are going to be partnering with my company very soon, Crypnotic, and we're going to be releasing some exclusive merchandise.
That's actually a really cool shirt.
Yeah, so they do different like alien and conspiracy theory shirts, all in fun, not like tinfoil hat, firearm stockpiling. So this is aliens as the zodiac signs.
Oh, I love that. I love that a lot, actually.
It is one of my favorite shirts. They're coming out with even more designs. So they're going to have a lot of cool stuff come, like next month around Christmas. We're going to have all kinds of cool things. And I will, awesome. I'll definitely send you a link.
For sure. I look forward to that.
This has been amazing. You've done so many projects. It was This Glass Embrace.
Correct.
Majority Bones, Anywhere Welcomes You.
Yes. And also my wife and I, we have our own like folk, like indie folk project called Warily Worn. So that's 4 right there. Yeah. It's called Warily Worn. I'll show you a link for that as well. That only has an EP out, and I forgot I wasn't even thinking about this, but I'm actually currently writing for the full length for that as well. So I'm actually writing for a couple of different projects at the moment.
Do you have time to do anything else?
It's not always easy because my wife and I were married. I go to school full time. She works full time. We have kids. We are pretty busy.
You really have to be enmeshed as a team to make everything work.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's, when it's something that you want and that, and it's something you love, you'll make time for it.
What are you going to school for, if I may ask?
Education, to be an English teacher, middle school level English teacher.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I would have loved to have been in your class in middle school. My God. That would have been like the coolest thing ever.
You're very kind.
My God. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me. I hope that people go check out the video. I'm going to make sure to include your links. And everyone, please go check out Anywhere Welcomes You, Majority Bones. This is the stuff that we're doing. We're trying to, bring some awareness to, we have Small Business Sunday and Midweek Music Maelstrom. Let's support small businesses, and let's not forget that local bands, aren't they the small businesses of the music industry? Let's give them our support too. It doesn't really take a lot to just pick up some merch, give them a stream, and it really does make all the difference in the world to someone. So that's why we do this. We want you to tune in and find out who else you can listen to, what new music you can discover, and we hope to see you next time. This is Ariel signing off with Kennedy Rice, and you've been watching Midweek Music Maelstrom. Yes. Oh,
you're still recording.
Is it still recording me?
Yeah, you turned off your
shit.